Ongoing row over the Ivy League equivocations. Nick, Harvard's president appears to be weathering the storm.
Yeah, for now, shockingly. So Harvard board backs Claudine Gay as the right leader to help our community heal, but admits her disastrous Congress testimony failed to give an unequivocal condemnation of anti-Semitism, which you can say that again. I mean, so they've acknowledged that at least. So we've seen that Elizabeth McGill already, the president of Penn, has already resigned over this after they lost $100 million in funding, after her shocking testimony where she essentially smirked about the notion of Jewish genocide and people talking about that on campus and advocating it.
Context dependent.
They said it was context dependent, which was absurd, and they pretended to be free speech absolutists all of a sudden, which would have been at least been an argument, but obviously they're not. Obviously they wouldn't allow it in many other contexts.
That was exactly the point for me. It was the inconsistency, really. I mean, also the tone and the smirking were reprehensible, but really, if they demonstrated a commitment to free speech over the last 10 years, that would be one thing. You know?
Well, to me, what's happened here, and Andrew Sullivan wrote a good article on this and backing me up, which was good, not literally, but at the same point, which is that they've been doing this to white people for ages. They've been saying it's the oppressor versus the oppressed, and they've been getting away with it. And now Jewish people have fallen into the oppressor category for them because of Israel. They're basically calling them white, and so now they can feel they can say things like this. And now people see how disgusting it is. And Harvard here are doubling down on this poisonous woke ideology that lets you make statements like this. And even CNN, there was a long piece by Fareed Zakaria, who said that it's time for universities to put away the politics and get back to actual learning. How about that? So even CNN have had enough of this.
But whereas, did you see Ben Shapiro? We really came out all guns firing at academia, you know, as we're going to have to root out this rot.
But she was hired specifically as a diversity hire to implement these policies. And also there's evidence that she was hired, that they weren't opening it up to any non-diverse candidates. The fact that they're saying here they're committed now to redoubling the university's fight against anti-Semitism is the most ridiculous statement I've heard. Redoubling from zero, absolutely, here. And I think it's disgraceful that she's managed to keep her job. She said just as bad as stuff, and she's more of a hypocrite than the others, because Harvard has got the most extreme reputation now, where things like being fattest and I suppose he is like literal violence, but calling for actual violence against Jews is suddenly okay.
And her entire academic career, which is also being called into question, apparently accusations of plagiarism on her doctorate, the thesis and so on, I think, has always been about race studies. It's about African-American studies, it's about voter turnout by race and so on. So, I mean, this should be her... It's not like something she's blundered into and doesn't understand.
But it shows the inconsistencies within those ideologies. And I want to say one final thing. Is this going to actually affect Harvard? Because, yes, they might lose some funding and prestige, but are people still going to want to go to Harvard? Will it make a difference to the quality of the degrees that are delivered at the end of it? I don't know. She's been said.
Good question.
She's been said the one person that she's done more harm to the institution. This is one of the fund people who've given lots of money in the past. Has said she's done more harm, and I would say that she has done more harm to that institution than anybody else in Harvard's history.
Well, certainly some of the big donors are pulling out, but you're absolutely right. I mean, I suppose probably if you're going to go and study law or economics or physics or something, it's probably still fairly safe. But you would hope that perhaps this is. Some of the wealthier parents are going to think twice about, putting the college fund into some of these
And did you see the SNL sketch trying to defend them all? Absolutely pathetic.
Yeah, we did that last night.
Okay.
We were really squirming.